Charles, pronouns are he, him in Georgia, wants to talk to us about the age of the earth. So welcome, Charles. How are you, sir?
Okay. How about you?
Hey, Charles.
As good as can be expected.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. First of all, I just wanted the only reason I'm calling is to go over the age of the earth. I'm not trying to prove God. I'm not trying to do anything like that. But I want to give you proof that the world is younger, much younger than what your model for the Big Bang is.
Okay, so hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. So first of all, the Big Bang's not my model. The Big Bang cosmology with, so you're saying that when scientists say that the universe is about 13.7 billion years old and the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, that they are grossly incorrect, and that you are going to demonstrate scientifically that they're incorrect. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Yes.
Well, start the clock.
All right. So, all right. Let's see. First of all, the Grand Canyon. Okay, the geologic column in the Grand Canyon is 1.84 billion years old. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. Keep going.
Okay. All right. So let's see. The only way to prove the age of the Earth, okay, is to get outside of the Earth, because we have weather, there's water, there's radioactive material, there's sunlight. This all messes up their way of figuring out how old something is with carbon-14 and everything else. So if you look at the Earth, we're getting bombarded by 2,500 tons of micrometeors every day on the Earth. Okay, and you can look that up online if you'd like. Out of that 2,500 tons of material that's hitting the Earth, we get about 9 meteorites that hit the Earth every day. Now, the Earth is 2/3 water, is covered with 2/3 of water, and the rest of it is land. So we can get rid of 2/3 of that number, because most of those are going to hit in the water. So we're looking at 3 meteorites in a day. Okay, if you take 3 times 365, that would be about 1,095. Then you take, do you have a calculator handy?
I don't need a calculator. I'm not going to do the math here. So here's the thing. You've had way more than the initial 30 seconds. The problem is that what are you going to present scientifically? Hang on. It's my turn to talk. It's my turn to talk. What are you going to present? And why are you calling into an atheist TV show to rattle off young Earth talking points that have been rebutted? Like, if you go to talkorigins.org, there's a response to virtually everything you've said and everything you're going to say. Because when you say that the only way to measure the age of the Earth is to get outside the Earth, we have a number of different ways to measure both the age of the Earth and the age of the universe. When you start denouncing things like carbon dating is only good to 50,000 years. We don't just rely on carbon dating. We use radiometric dating, and we use a number of other things as well. These are things where
dating and all of those.
These methods are in use. They are the accepted scientific methods. The things that you're talking about have been debunked by experts. Why are you calling in to 2 non-scientists? Are you a scientific expert in this area? Do you have some expertise? And when are you going to submit your paper for scientific review to show that all of the scientists are wrong in dating the universe to 13.7 million years, and you're correct? Where's that?
Well, because this you don't have to be a scientist to figure it out. Okay, I mean you got 3 meteorites in a day. You can easily look that up on YouTube. Okay, you can easily figure out how many meteorites hit the Earth in 1.84 billion years. Okay, And when you look at that, you have one meteorite for every 1,000 foot. So that would be 27,000 meteorites for every square mile of geologic column you have. Well, if that's the case, for every fossil you pull out of the ground, you're going to have 100, 200 meteorites that you're pulling out of the ground. They have right now, if you look it up online, okay, Google it, okay, you can easily find out that they've only found 8 meteorites, and 7 of them were so large that they penetrated into the geologic column. So there's only 1 meteorite that they found in a core sample back in 1960.
Charles,
so that shows that
Charles,
yes?
I don't know what question you're asking, but I asked a question about when are you going to be submitting this as a scientific paper for peer review to demonstrate that the actual accepted peer-reviewed science is wrong and your take is correct. When are you doing that?
I am not going to write a paper on it, but I can tell you that there was an astrophysicist named Fred Whipple.
I don't need you to tell me anything. I don't need you to tell me anything at all, Charles, because when you're calling in to say that the established scientific consensus is wrong and you are correct, I have no reason to care or listen to you, okay? Because you have no expertise. You don't have established scientific consensus on your side. You might as well be calling in to say the germ. I'm still talking, Charles. You might as well be calling in to say that the scientific consensus on the germ theory of disease is wrong, but you're not going to bother submitting any paper to demonstrate it. See, if you don't respect the process and you just want to call into a talk show to talk about how you, with no expertise and no paper and no evidence backing you up, think you've discovered, because you've been listening to young earth creationists, that the earth is really, really young, I don't care. This is not the forum where you're going to demonstrate that. And you are refusing to work in the forum where you could. And that shows a level of dishonesty that makes it even less likely I'm going to care what you have to say.
Honesty? How is it dishonest to just bring up a simple mathematical?
No, Charles, what he's
how the world is young.
Charles, what Matt is saying that you continue to dodge is that if you were honest about the process, you would be submitting this to qualified scientists, and you would be submitting your findings that you found on the internet.
This has already been submitted to scientists hundreds of years ago. Okay, they've been looking.
Well, why is this not established then? Why is this something? Why, as Matt said,
this is something old. Okay, this is just something that isn't out there. A lot of people are looking. This has already been, and scientists have been looking for these asteroids. I mean, for these meteorites for hundreds of years since Darwin wrote his book. Okay.
Well, again, Matt asked you, and I'll repeat it. Why, Charles? Why are you calling into an atheist show with geological scientific arguments that neither Matt nor I are qualified to talk to? We're not scientists. We're not geologists. And neither are you, by the way. So why are you calling this show? What's your point?
Well, why do you have to be qualified?
What is your point? Why do you have to be qualified?
So no, stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute you for just a second. I'm not saying that you are wrong because you're not qualified. I'm saying that I don't have the ability to assess what you're saying. I'm not qualified to assess it. And I was asking you why you would bother to call into an atheist show that has two non-scientists, two non-geologists who are answering questions on the fly and would have to go and research stuff instead of contacting actual scientists. And if this stuff has been around within the sciences as long as you claim it has, why is your view not the established scientific consensus? That's the question.
I'm sorry, you beat just as what was the end of that?
The question is this: if you are correct, and if, as you say, what you are claiming has been in the scientific community for ages, why is your view on the age of the earth not the current scientific consensus among the experts?
I don't know. You tell me.
Okay.
Oh,
sorry, I'm not playing that game, Charles.
Jesus Christ.
Because no, stop talking. When I ask you why something isn't the scientific consensus, and you dodge that question, there's only a handful of reasons why something wouldn't be the scientific consensus if the information has been presented. And you have to reach some sort of conclusion. You don't get to ask me, why do I think science hasn't accepted your fucking bullshit?
Okay.
Why don't you think science accepts your position?
I don't know why they don't accept it. It's pretty
Gosh.
straightforward and pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah, pretty simple, as long as you're not an expert and don't actually bother to study in this stuff. If you actually go Google about young Earth arguments regarding the specifics with regard to how many meteorites are laid down, you'll find that this has been addressed by the experts, both at Talk Origins and at infidels.org and at countless other sites. And that's just off after a 10-second Google search. I find paper after paper after paper after paper pointing out how difficult it is to find any meteorite embedded in ancient strata. And it's difficult to find meteorites on the surface when you know what to look for. Your view, you've been fed a bunch of misinformation that is playing on your gross ignorance and failure to understand the actual science. And then when asked why science doesn't accept your finding, your answer is, I don't know. It would be much more comforting to all of us, Charles, if your answer to what's the age of the universe was, I don't know, because clearly you don't.
Well, you just collaborated what I said by what you were just saying. Okay.
I'm sorry, sir. I didn't collaborate what you said. I think what you might have meant, if you understood English better than science, was corroborate, but I did not corroborate. In fact, I pointed you to a quick Google search that would point up results that show where you're wrong. We're going to move on, Charles, because if you don't care to actually demonstrate the truth of the science, and you don't care to figure out why the scientific consensus does not agree with the non-expert glurge crap that you've been reading, then I don't have any interest in hearing what you have to say. So thanks.